They built empires across 1,000 suns. We burned them for warmth. That's what they whisper about us in the dark corners of the galactic Concord, the ancient alliance of species that remember when Earth was still young. They built cities on neutron stars. They carved laws into black holes. They mapped time in eons. And then came humans, screaming, messy, brilliant, and dangerous. We didn't ask for a seat at the table. We built our own out of wreckage and dared anyone to challenge us. But now, something worse than war is spreading through the stars. Something even the oldest civilizations can't stop. And for once, the galaxy isn't afraid of what we'll destroy. They're afraid of what we'll have to become to survive it. A soft hum echoes through the cold vacuum of space as a sleek black frigate glides past the shattered remains of a once great alien city floating in orbit around a dead planet. Inside the cockpit, a single human woman stares out at the ruins. Her name is Commander Elena Voss, and she's about to become the last hope of an entire galaxy. Elena wasn't born into legend. She grew up on Mars Station Theta, a child of war orphans, raised among steel walls and recycled air. Her parents had died in the Outer Rim conflict, a minor skirmish in the grand scale of galactic politics, but a defining moment for her. She joined the unified Terran military at 16, lied about her age, passed every test they threw at her, and rose faster than anyone expected. By 22, she was leading platoons. By 30, she commanded a full strike team known as Echo 7, an elite unit composed entirely of humans. Why? Because humans were adaptable. Because humans didn't give up. And because in a galaxy filled with beings who thought in millennia, humans acted in seconds. But even Elena couldn't have predicted what was coming. It started on Zyros Prime, a lush oceanic world belonging to the Vithari Dominion, an ancient aquatic race whose cities floated above their endless seas. One day the comms went dark, then another, then another. By the time the Concord sent in scouts, Zyros Prime was silent. No like signs, no movement, just silence. At first, they thought it was a bioweapon, a targeted attack from some rogue faction. But then it spread. The virus hit next on Draxus 4, a mineral-rich mining colony shared by 3 different species. Then Calith, home of the crystalline Thrin, followed by Talzar, a jungle world sacred to the insectoid Vicari. Each time, the same pattern. Infected individuals showed flu-like symptoms at first. Then came the fever. Then the madness. Then death. But not peaceful death. Something in the virus caused the body to break down from within, mutating tissue into unrecognizable forms. Survivors called it the rot. Alien scientists worked tirelessly. Their medical tech was centuries ahead of humanity's, but nothing worked. The virus adapted faster than any cure. It mutated like a living thing with intent. And worse, it was spreading. The Concord issued a Level 0 emergency, the highest possible alert. Every major civilization began sealing off their borders. Trade halted, travel stopped. Entire fleets were mobilized just to contain the outbreak. But containment wasn't enough. So the unified Terran command stepped in, not because they asked for the job, because no one else could do it. Humanity had faced extinction before. On Earth, what they found instead was a nightmare. The labs were empty, or so they thought, until they discovered the bodies, twisted, fused together in grotesque shapes. And in the center of the lab, a single console blinking red, A message: you should not have come. And beneath it, a file labeled Project Helix. Back aboard the command frigate Endeavour, Elena and her team decrypted the file. What they uncovered shook them to their core. The virus wasn't natural. It wasn't a weapon either, not exactly. It was alive, designed to evolve, to learn, to adapt. It was created in secret by a coalition of radical scientists across multiple species, some long dead, who believed that evolution needed a push, that only those strong enough to survive would inherit the future. They called themselves the Ascended Initiative. Their goal: to purge the weak, accelerate the strong, and rebuild the galaxy in their image. Elena stared at the screen, heart pounding. This wasn't a disease. It was a test. And if humanity failed it, billions would die. With the Concorde paralyzed by fear and political infighting, humanity took action. Elena led Echo 7 on a series of high-risk missions across infected worlds, each more dangerous than the last. On Caliph, they fought through crystalline forests, turned into death traps by the virus's ability to animate dead matter. On Talzar, they rescued a surviving Thrin scientist who had been hiding in the deep jungle. He carried fragments of a potential cure, but only if humanity could unlock the genetic key buried in ancient alien ruins scattered across the Concorde. The ruins were old, older than the Concorde itself, built by a species known only as the Firstborn, long vanished. Elena's team scoured these ruins, dodging infected creatures, hostile factions, and mercenaries looking to profit from the chaos. Every mission brought them closer to the truth, and closer to disaster. As Echo 7 pieced together the fragments of the Firstborn code, they uncovered something terrifying. The virus wasn't just testing survival. It was selecting for something specific, something buried in the human genome. Somehow, humanity had a resistance gene. No, more than that. A compatibility gene. One that allowed the virus to be controlled, reprogrammed, even used as a tool. But someone didn't want them to succeed. A traitor within the Concorde sabotaged their next mission. Their ship was ambushed near the ruins of Orin 9, a moon orbiting a dying sun. Half the team was lost. Elena barely survived, but she got away with the final piece of the puzzle, a data crystal containing the Firstborn's genetic cipher. Now, standing in the command center of the Endeavour, surrounded by what's left of Echo 7, Elena faces the impossible decision. The data crystal contains the key to stopping the virus, but using it will require uploading a new genetic sequence into the biosphere of infected worlds, an act that could save billions or destroy them all. The Concorde wants her to stop. The Terran High Command urges caution, but Elena knows the truth. Waiting isn't an option, so she does what humans do best. She takes a chance. She uploads the sequence, and the galaxy holds its breath. Days pass, then weeks. The rot slows, stops, reverses. Survivors begin to recover. Immune, changed. Not just cured, but evolved. Across the Concorde, the story spreads. A lone human commander, armed with nothing but courage, science, and the indomitable will of her people, saved the galaxy. And in the quiet aftermath, as stars burn bright once more, the alien races look to Earth.
Not as the youngest, not as the reckless, but as the ones who stood when others fell. The ones who fucked, yeah,